Groce. Coach, we're going to ask you to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions from the room. Again, when you ask a question, please give us your name and affiliation. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay. Obviously I'm excited for the University of Illinois and for our basketball program, our seniors, our players, that we have an opportunity to be in. I'm biased, but I think I've said all along it's the world's greatest tournament. But we're not just excited to be here. Now we're here. We took step one. We've worked very diligently all week in preparation for tomorrow's game against Colorado, a very good basketball team. And now step two is trying to put ourselves in position to survive and advance. We've looked at it one game at a time all year. We're going to continue to do that. Our total focus is on Colorado. Obviously for us, we feel like it starts with rebounding. They are a terrific rebounding team, and we've got our work cut out for us on the glass. But guys are looking forward to the challenge, and we're enjoying the experience, but at the same time, not totally swallowing it either, because we know we've got a game to play tomorrow at 3:40.
Okay, go with Tim in the center there.
Hey, John. Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. Apparently there's talk that Roberson will match Paul at the start of this game. I wonder if you just describe the challenge that Andre Roberson provides because of his length and his rebounding ability and the multiple things that he does well.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because he's done that all year. He's guarded the other team's best offensive player a lot. He's obviously Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12 for a reason. But I want to make one thing crystal clear. It's not Roberson versus Paul tomorrow and Paul versus Roberson. It's Illinois versus Colorado. And I think, Brandon as an older player understands that. Obviously, he's an important part of what we do, just like Roberson is an important part of what Colorado does. So, we'll want to take that for what it's worth. In terms of his talents and abilities, I think obviously everyone talks about his motor, his length, his ability to anticipate and get deflections, whether that's steals or block shots. But the thing I've really appreciated the most watching him on film is his intelligence. I think in addition to all those intangibles that I just talked about that he has on the defensive end, I think his IQ is tremendous. I watch him on film and anticipate his vision, which also makes him a great defender.
Okay, right of the aisle, third row.
Max Tain, Daily Illini. Coach, I think it was Tom Izzo who said after the Big Ten tournament how relieved he was to see a team that's not in the Big Ten when the tournament came. Do you feel the same way?
No question. Obviously it was a grind. It was a lot of fun, though. And it was a tremendous challenge, all 18 games plus the Big Ten tournament. I think you learn a lot playing against the competition that we played against, the venues where we played, the different styles that we played. The different coaching philosophies and coaching styles as well. So it was great. We learned a lot about our team, and we certainly wouldn't. We would do it all over again. It was an exciting race, but now we've moved on to season 3 for us was the Big Ten tournament. Season 4 is the NCAA tournament, and now our focus is on Colorado.
Questions?
Herb.
Far right here. Wait for the mic.
Herb Gould, Chicago Sun-Times. John, is it different for you playing with an Illinois than it was when you were a double-digit seed at Ohio?
Yeah, I've been asked that. Our preparation's been very similar, Herb. Our mindset's the same. Last year we were looking at our first-round opponent and saying, what do we have to do to survive and advance that against that particular opponent? That's no different this year than approaching the Colorado game tomorrow. I do think the experiences that we've had in the past in the tournament has certainly been helpful. There's no question about it. I know it's helped us, helped me, just little things in terms of how you plan itinerary and when you practice and how long and all those different things over the years that you learn by being a part of the tournament. So from that standpoint, grateful for those opportunities.
Right of the aisle.
Thorburn with the Boulder camera. John, when you took over this program, did you talk NCAA tournament with this group right away, or did you want to see how they responded to you guys and vice versa, or how did the season progress?
Well, honestly, the first thing I wanted to do was kind of evaluate where we are in a lot of areas and just kind of listen and watch and get to know our players. That was the number one thing. I spent a lot of time with those guys, as our assistant coaches did as well. I'm one of those guys that really believes you can't coach your players unless you know your players. So it's their team. I've told them that all along. I feel blessed to have a chance to be at Illinois. It's one of the greatest institutions in the country. I feel grateful to have a chance to coach this group, and I really wanted to get to know them and find out, what do you guys want to do? And obviously one of their goals, they wanted to have a chance to get into this tournament, knowing, as I instructed them and told them, hey, to have a chance to survive and advance in the tournament, you have to be in it first. And, they were able to do that through a lot of, quite honestly, our guys call them doubters and haters. There were a lot. There were a lot early, and then we got off to a great start, and then there was a lot after we got into a rough patch there in the Big Ten schedule, but they stayed the course. I appreciate the way they fought. We never deviated. We stuck to the plan. The guys showed great poise, and we just kept learning and getting a little bit better and getting a little bit better, and we're able to put ourselves in position where we have an opportunity to play tomorrow against Colorado.
Okay, third row, right of the aisle.
Kyle Milnamo, Daily Illini. What are you doing with so many seniors? What are you doing to try to keep them loose instead of thinking about tomorrow could be their last game?
Well, if you'd have went to dinner with us last night, you wouldn't have worried about loose. They were loose last night at dinner. They were loose on the bus. My secretary has traveled with us for this particular trip, and she said to me, "How often are they like that?" And I said, "About all the time." So we're we say all the time in this time of year, and in general, we want to be mentally focused, and we want to be mentally focused or tight, but physically loose. And I think we've got guys that are that way. Our assistant coaches do a great job of talking to them. Again, it gets back to knowing your guys, knowing what works for them. And our group is, I think for the most part, been a pretty confident and loose group.
Questions? Any more questions for Coach Groce? Okay, Coach, we're going to let you go. Thank you.
Thank you.